the meeting rules. You all signed in at the back table. I know there was a lot of proxies for this meeting, which is great to have that much turnout for an annual meeting for a community. If you assigned your proxy and you are here this evening, your vote counts. The proxy holder is then null and void, and the vote goes to the homeowner in attendance. Just to clarify that for everybody. Because we do have such a large turnout this evening, please hold all questions to the very end of the meeting. We do have an open homeowner forum where you will be able to ask your questions. So we do ask so that way we can get through the meeting, since we are starting significantly late. You hold all questions until that time. During that homeowner open forum, speakers are going to be allotted 3 minutes. Just note, and I'll note it again at the end, no personal matters will be discussed at that time, no violation disputes, delinquencies, anything like that. That's not the forum for that. And then homeowners or guests can be asked to leave for disorderly or boisterous conduct, loud, threatening, or abusive language, or failure to return the floor to the board or the management when asked. So we want tonight to go smoothly as possible. So great to see so many residents out. So we are going to go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to Allison to call us to order.
I'm going to call us to order. 7-1.
All right, so for those of you who I haven't met yet, my name is Morgan Lepinen. I am with Houston Management Group. I am the community manager for Wesley Oaks. Back in the back is Brianna Cole. You all met her at Sign In. She is the community specialist for Wesley Oaks on the Houston team as well. And then up here with us this evening is your board of directors. So we have Allison, your board president, Bonnie, your vice president, Karen, your treasurer, Terry, your secretary, and David, your member at large. So quorum for Wesley Oaks is 45 lots. That is per the association bylaws. Section 4.4 is 10% of the association. Between those in attendance and all of the proxies that we have far surpassed quorum, so we are able to conduct the business of the association this evening. All right, the reason you guys are all here this evening, purpose of the board of directors, the fiduciary duty. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. That is the purpose of the board. To give you some context, the board is tasked with the enforcement of the CCNRs of the community, establishing fiscal policies and maintaining records, developing working budget and assessment rates, appointment of committee and delegation of authority, selection of the association attorney, insurance agent, CPA, and or other professionals, and to obtain and maintain adequate insurance protections as per the CCNRs. Again, that is just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more that goes into what the board does on the day-to-day and on the back end. So we are going to go ahead and kick off the meeting with our board nominations. So there are 2 seats that are up for election. These 2 seats are for a 2-year term. Those that are running for a seat on the board, not a specific office. The officer roles will be elected internally by the board of directors at their first organizational meeting, and that is per your association bylaws. So your nominees for this year are David, Bonnie, Andy Mazzucco, Joseph, how do you pronounce your last name? Tackle. I wanted to make sure I didn't get it wrong. And then Matthew. Perfect, thank you.
His last name is much harder than mine.
All right. So, these are your nominees. So we are going to give your nominees just a couple of minutes to address the membership that is here this evening. So we will start from the bottom and start with Matthew.
Good evening, neighbors, community members. I just want to thank you all for coming. So I know we're a little bit late, but happy that you showed up because it's important for why we're here. And thanks for the board, and the future board. We're all volunteers, so please respect everyone's time and that they take outside of this 45-minute to hour long presentation. A little bit about me. I currently work at EY in their fin crime compliance practice, trying to save you guys from credit card theft, ID theft, all that good stuff. But I previously did 13 years in the Navy as a surface warfare officer.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Led multiple divisions and departments. The reason why I got out, not continuing my services, to spend more time with my family. Do that. But my wife wife, Caitlin, she's a BCBA, and I have 2 kids, and I really do look forward to living here in this community for many years to come. So what, why do I want to run? I feel that it's on me to help push this community into the future. Like I said, I have young kids, and I want to see this community build on itself. Because of the Navy, I lived in 3 different communities in the last 5 years due to my moves. So I feel like through the multiple moves, I've been able to learn a lot that I can bring into this community. I shared my goals earlier, but just want to push more, get more volunteers. So the board can only do as much as they can, but it takes a community to make it better. So please assist the future board next year and years to come, because that community buy-in is really what we want. So thank you again for listening, and regardless of what happens, it's nice to meet you and see you all here.
Great, thank you, Matthew. Joseph.
Hey everybody, my name is Wesley Chapel. I'm really glad to meet you tonight and have met many of you before. I see a lot of neighbors, I see a lot of familiar faces. Thank you to the board members for having us here and for getting us where we are today. So this is a great place to be, and we have to be grateful for that. Thank you. I've been in Wesley Oaks for 4 years. I have an 8-year-old son and a 5-year-old daughter. My wife now is trying to get them to sleep. I don't think she's going to be able to, but she's really trying. And I really enjoy living here in this community. I work at Wells Fargo. I'm a senior lead, and I do enjoy my job a lot. And I feel like I can give a lot also to my community, to where I live here. I work closely with all the board members. I'm on the pool committee. Summertime, when we had a little issues with the pool, we really came together as a team and we made it happen. The pool is being renovated now with the blessing of the board and the pool committee's efforts. So you will have hopefully a nice pool in the summer. I was really privileged to get to know a lot of you. I walked and I collected proxies. That's why probably we're delayed here, because I was really making sure everybody's voice is heard. I met a lot of you, and I really heard a lot of the stories, and it was really an enjoyable experience. Get to know a lot of people and we get to really connect. And most of you guys mentioned we like the small gatherings, we like the cheap things that are really not very intensive on budget, to get people together and just to connect as a community, as we're doing right now. I think it's probably one of the most times we had to turn around. Morgan, keep me honest. I'm just talking from my limited experience, but this is great to see you guys being involved. I really appreciate you guys being here. I think I spoke to almost, maybe not everybody, but almost everybody here. I enjoy serving. I want to help my community as much as I can. I'm not perfect. I have a list of goals that I compiled with Matthew. Him and I are running under the same umbrella. It's not perfect, but it's something to get us started. I think we're one of the few members that have a list of goals, what we think for our communities. Not to discredit anybody else, they have a great bio, but we really want to push things a little bit forward and just build on what we have and make it a little bit better. This is just the way it is everywhere. Nothing is perfect the first time. Fun fact, my house still looks like Halloween because this takes a lot of time. This takes a lot of time. 2 weeks, I didn't see my kids. I didn't really barely spoke to them. I was really tired to talk to neighbors. That was my main priority. So if, whatever happens after tonight, I'm gonna be thankful to have my life back and also to decorate the house. So I really appreciate you guys coming here tonight. It's gonna be a fun night. No matter what happens, we're all here together for the same thing. So thank you.
All right, so I'm Andy Mizuko. Some of you know me, some of you don't. I'm probably one of the finest concrete contractors. All you gotta do is Google and you'll see. I've been here since '05, and my kids have grown up and moved on except one. I saw that there was a position open for the board. I've never been in any politics, board, or what have you. But reading through emails, I saw that there was openings that this board may need help. So I elected to put myself in there to give myself also something to do at nighttime. I don't know if I could bring anything better to the board. I don't, at this moment, know of any wrong who is here now. If somebody's elected to want to leave, I would love to take that position and give what I have, because most of my work is HOA. So 99% of what I feed my family with is HOA rules. I may have broken them in the past, but I've sat at this table before, been scolded, but I've learned and I've grown up, 52 years old, so I love this community. I had an offer twice of the amount that I paid for my house and turned it down. My intentions are to stay here, and when God chooses to take me, then my wife can have the equity to live happily ever after, as long as nobody else takes her spot. But if this position gets open, and you want to find somebody that's open-minded, I'm here. The best that I can do. In my opinion, I don't know if I could do any better than who's already been here. I've seen these faces right here forever. These two when I was getting scolded, but I've seen them. So if there's a place that needs to be filled and you're looking for an open-minded person with no agenda other than to help the best, I have nothing prepared. I have no idea what is wrong or what's going on in this community, but I would be willing to put what I have in my thoughts. But if this board is still here and wants to be here, then don't vote, because I think you're doing a good job. That's all I'm saying.
Miss Bonnie, you are up.
Okay. A lot of you know me, and maybe I had to scold you. I have been on the board, well, actually, I've been involved with committees. I've been on the board, I've been off the board, I came back on the board, I left the board, I came back on the board. Last time I left, I swore that was gonna be the end of it, I wasn't coming back, I felt like I'd done my bit, but I stayed involved with committees. I worked with the social committee, helping to plan events for the community. Actually, our big goal was to get all 3 communities here for our social events, and we were hoping to make that our lasting legacy, that we had all 3 communities involved in everything that was going on, with the social events at least, so people could meet and have fellowship together and just meet each other, because since we do have like a dividing space, the road divides us, there's a huge woods that divides us from the estates, there's Billy Howie that keeps us from the Glen. So we would hope that our social events would bring them together, and that's what I worked for, that's what I know Allison has worked for, and I definitely know David's working for that, and so does Karen. And Terry just works. I mean, he just works.
Thank you, Terry.
Thanks, Terry.
Anyway, it's been my pleasure to serve with these people. I love this community. I think most people know that to be true. I hear from people. In the last 6 months, I've received, and this doesn't count phone calls because people do call me, and it doesn't count emails. I have 60 people who've contacted me through private messages asking questions, asking me how to get their art requests in, asking me if I can help them get it expedited. And every case, if it's possible for me to help them with it, I do it. And I think any one of those people would stand up and tell you that's true. I believe I helped shepherd one of yours through him.
Many, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, my own.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm retired. I have lots of time. I was brought up to give back. I taught my kids. My baby's 53, so if you didn't learn it by now. Same thing with my grandkids, and now I'm embarrassed to say, but the great grandkids. So, to whom much is given, much is expected, and I try to give it back. And I'd like to continue. Thank you.
team. I am probably the least visible member. I'm not on any social media, so most of you don't know me unless you've been in here, or unless you come to the estates. One of the things that I didn't know when I joined this board is how the budgeting worked. I learned a lot about budgeting. Casey, you actually helped me with some of that, and so the rest of this board. I didn't know the difference between what we could spend in a budget and operating and what comes from reserves. You know, I came in with the same goals. I wanted to get everything for this community. I wanted to do a lot of things. Didn't understand that. Everybody has wish lists, so did I coming in here. But I learned a lot about what we can do and what we can't do. And you know, my goals when I came in here were very clear. I wanted to keep our property values high, maintain a standard of living, and what we could do, what we could improve, we would. But I had one very, very strict rule. Anything that I did, being as I live in the estates, anything that I did needed to benefit everybody. Now, I'm open to fixing things that are in each community. Obviously, if a gate breaks or a front entrance needs to be fixed, landscaping's broken, but I won't vote for anything that benefits one community over another unless it is an amenity that everybody can use. I'm always very fair about that one rule. I also won't cut down trees. So I'm very, very fair about that. I know a lot of people have talked about adding amenities, adding this, adding that. I will not drain reserves. I will not kill the budget. If it doesn't increase our property values, I won't vote for it. I want, at the end of the day, I want our property values high. When you all go to sell your homes, if you ever do move, one of the things that you will be asked, and some people have lived here a long time, one of the things you will be asked is, how much is in the reserves for your community? How strong is your HOA? And if your reserves are too low, your property will not sell. I will not let any of you sell your homes and have no reserves in this community. So if you want to vote to drain the reserves, feel free to vote outside of me and outside of Bonnie. But I will not let these reserves go so low that your houses are going to drop their property values. And that's why you should vote for me.
Thank you, candidates. So at this time, we are going to open the floor for any nominations. Anybody like to throw their hat in the ring with these five? Going once, going twice? No? Okay. All right, so these are your five candidates. You all were provided a ballot when you signed in. So if you would like to go ahead and make your selections, you can vote for up to 2 candidates. Any ballots that have more than 2 candidates selected will be void and will not be countable. And Brianna will come around and collect those. And just an update for everybody while you all are voting and while Brianna's collecting those, as I stated at the beginning of the meeting, we had a large number of proxies. And due to that large number of proxies and some of the duplicates, we want to make sure that the vote is 100% accurate. So we will not be announcing the voting results this evening. We're going to go back to the office, count, double check all of the numbers, get that count, and then send that out to you all via email tomorrow. We will notify the community via email as to the voting results.
I could do it. Can I stop it? You're in the war.